Back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to the channel. So I've been following closely the case of Dennis Mbai. Dennis Mbai, if you don't know, is the gentleman that was gunned down recently. I think it was early June, first week of June. And this case is very, very interesting because now we know that this guy was actually a criminal. So according to police records, according to the information that is coming out from the police, he was a known criminal. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe right now. I'm waiting for you. Make sure you turn on that post notification button so you know every time I post. Let's get into the video. On June 8th, Dennis Mbai, a former MCA aspirant, died after his vehicle was sprayed with bullets. This guy was sprayed 20 times. He was actually shot at 20 times. Usually such killings are just revenge. It could be a love situation or usually a criminal situation. So immediately when I saw in the news that this guy had been shot at 20 times, I just thought, oh my God, this is another Mirema situation. Anyway, Dennis Mbai was a prominent businessman in Embu who also contested for an MCA seat in 2017 but lost during preliminaries. It's also being reported that he was a womanizer and that he had romantic relations with several partners. I'm not sure if he was actively vying for the same position at the moment. I haven't seen that being reported, so I don't know. So Dennis Mbai Mutegi was a millionaire who lived a very secret life, but luxurious life. He kept to himself a lot. Even colleagues did not understand him. And a lot of his colleagues also said they didn't understand the nature of his business. It's being said that within the business circles, his colleagues avoided him and wanted nothing to do with him. This is because he was linked to a lot of criminal activities, ranging from drug trafficking to handling stolen goods. However, among the youth and family members, the late Mutegi was a philanthropist. So again, we can see usually with criminals, they try to sanitize the money. So they will put money into, helping needy people, helping with medical bills, helping feeding the community and things like that, just to give this other side that they are good people, that they are, great community members. It's being reported also that he employed up to 200 young people in paid fees for poor children, and also he would help with medical bills. Obviously, when you're known to help vulnerable people, they will always vouch for you no matter what. So as soon as they heard that this guy has been shot, apparently they all ran to the morgue and wanted to confirm that he actually has died, which is kind of interesting to me. But yeah, apparently some of these people who had benefited from his help ran to the morgue just to condole with the family and to actually, just to confirm that the mom was gone. One of his employees said, and I quote, "Mbuyu was a father to us. He offered jobs to the young people and bought motorcycles for the youth and educated children from poor families. He used to feed the hungry in the slums, and his death is a great loss to many people who were dependent on him for survival," Abdallah Ali recalled. So that's just one of his employees sharing, how much the guy did for the community. Patrick Gatongo, who is the deceased brother, described him as a hardworking person who lived a quiet life before he was killed in a cold blood. He says, "My brother owned a series of businesses from transport, bars, hardware shops, and farming, and he was likely eliminated due to business rivalry." The brother further added that on the day his brother was shot on June 8th, there were no prior signs, there were no prior warnings. Mutegi, the deceased, did not express any fear over his life. According to the brother, they were together on that day and he had promised to take him to Nairobi Hospital for a medical checkup after he broke his hand in an accident. However, that trip did not happen because moments later he was shot dead. Now, we've seen that this man was a womanizer. He had a lot of women around him. So let's look a little bit into his family and what the brother is saying about the family. So the brother has disclosed that the deceased had two known wives whom he had separated from due to marital differences. Besides the two wives, the businessman had several other women across the country across the county who also bore him children. My brother was living alone with his children as his two wives were not currently at home. He also had several other women with children, but I don't want to disclose the number, said Gitonga. Apart from his women, Mbai also loved good cars and he was often spotted cruising around with luxurious vehicles. According to one of the residents who was interviewed, he alleges that the deceased was behind some of the crimes in the community, like house break-ins, robbery, theft of livestock, drug smuggling, muggings, and other crimes in Embu. Mbai's victims narrated that their ordeal at his hands, claiming they suffered in his hands. He threatened my sister-in-law that he will run over her with a car, one of the residents stated. So it's very clear that this guy was double-sided. On one hand, he was very helpful to the community, supporting the needy people, but on another hand, he was stealing from the same community that he was supporting, allegedly. I wanted also to just look at the police reports or criminal history of this man, because again, just saying he was a criminal without looking at the criminal history would really be unfair. Now, we already know that he's a double-sided man. He lived this double life. So, according to the police, Dennis Mbai Mutegi, alias Mbuyu, was battling several court cases before his death, including drug trafficking, robbery with violence, and murder. It's been reported that he was very close to one police officer attached to DCI who was based in Embu. Unfortunately, this officer was murdered in unclear circumstances in January this year. He was kidnapped in Isiolo on January 20th, and later his body was found dumped just 4 days later. In 2018, the businessman cum politician was arrested and charged in court with trafficking bang worth 260,000 Kenya shillings. Of course, he denied the charges and was released on 300,000 bond. The case is yet to be determined. 4 years prior to this 2018 case that I've just stated above, the businessman was charged with murder at the same court. On May 5th, 2014, Patrick Ndwiga-Njahi, an alcoholic drinks trader, was found murdered at his home in Sh0t estate in Embu. He had multiple stab wounds, and after weeks of investigation, police arrested 3 suspects, plus Mbai, who is now the deceased, on suspicion that they had been involved in the murder. The 4 were arraigned before the court. They were charged with the murder, and this is also a case that is still ongoing. Yeah, I really needed to highlight this case because at the moment there's just a lot of criminal activity going on in Kenya, unfortunately. So it's important to highlight these cases, important to just create awareness so that people know what is going on. Try as much as possible to be safe. End of this video, I don't think there'll be any update on this case. I mean, the guy has been killed. Whatever case he had in the courts, you know, they will just close the books. It's so unfortunate for that family that lost a father, a brother. You know, it's just very, very sad for the family because they'll never find justice ever. Once again for coming back to my channel. Thank you for watching this video. Guys, if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave this video. Please also make sure you give me a like, turn on that post notification bell so you know every time I post. Thank you so much for coming back. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.